Hello, everyone. My name is Lindsay Brown. I'm a registered dietitian nutritionist, certified specialist in sports dietetics, and a nutrition mentor here at Basics Market. And I would like to welcome you to 21 Nutrition Tips for 2021. Before we get started, I just want to pass along the information shared is to educate viewers and to always reach out if you have questions to your healthcare provider before making any adjustments into your dietary intake. A little bit about Basics Market. Basics Market is a locally owned market with a purpose, nurturing strong, healthy communities through food, with simplified selection, fresh ingredients, and healthful recipes. Our 5 locations in the Portland area are small and accessible. Focus on just what you need to cook healthful meals at home. Just want to review the class schedule. So the nutrition presentation will take about 30 minutes. And then recipe demonstration, you'll be able to find this on our website under recipe videos. It's a Mega C smoothie, but I'll talk about that at the end. And before we conclude, we'll have an opportunity for Q&A. Tip number 1, focus on consuming food sources rich in vitamin C daily. I wanted to open up with this just because of everything that's going on in the world today. I want to make sure that you are getting enough vitamin C to help your immune system fight infection. It also helps with collagen production. It helps maintain healthy skin, bones, cartilage, and blood vessels. Vitamin C also helps with the absorption of non-heme iron, which is found in plant sources such as spinach, beans, nuts, seeds, legumes. So these are going to be really beneficial to pair up. So if you're having a spinach salad, add some sliced strawberries or sliced oranges to the spinach salad to help absorb that non-heme iron that's found in the spinach. So your RDA for the day, or recommended daily allowance for vitamin C, 19 plus years for females is going to be 75 milligrams, and for males it's going to be 90 milligrams. If you're pregnant or lactating, it's going to be more. So about 85 milligrams if you're pregnant and 120 milligrams if you're lactating. Here's a list of different food options that contain good sources of vitamin C. I think we commonly know that citrus fruits are an excellent source of vitamin C, but also vegetables can contain a great amount of vitamin C, such as red pepper, Brussels sprouts, and broccoli, and cauliflower, potatoes. These can be all good sources of vitamin C as well. Tip number 2, consume breakfast most days of the week. I really encourage you to start your morning off with getting something into your system to help fuel your brain and your muscles. Most breakfast items are going to be high in carbohydrate or even simple carbohydrates. So if we want to balance our blood sugar and help maintain energy levels until our next meal or snack, then incorporating a protein source such as eggs and Greek yogurt, nut butters, and healthy fat sources such as chia seeds, hemp hearts, nut butters, and avocados. These are going to help stabilize your blood sugars, make you feel fuller longer until your next meal or snack. Tip number 3, hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. So when you wake up in the morning, I would recommend trying to get in about a cup of or a glass of water in the morning to help get your system going, to rehydrate your cells. Most of our body is made up of water, so 65% or more of our body is made up of water, and every cell in our body requires water to function. So consuming water is very important. General rule of thumb, if you consume about 2 to 3 liters of fluid or 8 to 12 cups, this is a good place to start. This does adjust based off of age, activity level, if you're pregnant or lactating, or environmental conditions. So if it's hot and humid outside and you're working out, then you probably need a little bit more fluid to meet your needs. Water is a great way to hydrate, but other things that count towards your fluid needs are going to be coffee, tea, broth, juices, milks, or plant-based alternatives, fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables have a high content of water, so these are actually an account towards your fluid needs. I do get questions about coffee or caffeinated beverages. If you consume just, a few cups, 2 to 3 cups a day, totally fine. Caffeine is not going to impact your hydration needs as a diuretic. Sometimes if you consume an extreme amount, like 6+ cups of coffee a day, then that might impact your hydration needs. It might put in place that diuretic effect where your body doesn't have time to absorb the fluid before it's excreted. So just a few cups of coffee a day, totally fine. Tip number 4, try a new and rarely consumed produce item each week for 1 month. I placed a list here that you can look at of different produce items that might not be as commonly consumed as carrots, onion, broccoli, celery. So I encourage you to look at this list and pick out a few that you would like to incorporate each week. This will also encourage you to maybe try a new recipe using fennel or parsnip, yucca root, dragon fruit. So try to pick out one of these each week and incorporate it by using a new recipe. Tip number 5, stretch your food dollar and increase fiber by increasing pulses into traditional ground meat dishes. This is a great way to introduce pulses if you do not consume them on a regular basis. So take about half of the meat out of a recipe and replace it with lentil or beans. Recipes that lend well to this are going to be meatballs, meat patties, tomato meat-based sauces, taco meat. So just remove half of the meat and replace it with pulses. And a lot of times you can't tell that half of the meat is gone and lentils or beans are in the dish. So I encourage you to try this out if you're not a big fan of lentils or pulses, or if you also want to just save money as well. Meat can be expensive. So if we replace it with lentil and beans, it's a great way to save money. Tip number 6, soak beans at least 4 hours. And this is very important because beans contain an anti-nutrient called phytic acid. And phytic acid is going to bind to important minerals that are really great for us, such as iron, magnesium, calcium, and zinc. So I highly recommend to soak your beans before cooking them. And what I do is I soak them overnight. So you're not waiting around for 4 hours and trying to figure out what to do in the meantime. So I recommend soaking them overnight, and then in the morning, you drain the water off and replace it with fresh water before cooking. And also I want to note there are Instant Pot recipes out there for beans that expedite the cooking process, but it's still just as important to soak the beans if you're using an Instant Pot before you cook them, because it will decrease the phytic acid even if you're cooking in an Instant Pot. Tip number 7, aim to consume 2 to 3 fist-sized portions of non-starchy vegetables per day. I like to educate my clients on using their fist for a guide, a portion guide, because we don't carry measuring utensils in our back pocket when we're going out to eat or when we're at home. So I encourage people just to use their fist as a portion guide. So if you just make a fist and then compare it to your serving of vegetables, this is going to be approximately 1 serving for you. It's also great because it's individualized based off of your size. So if you're a smaller individual, you'll probably have a smaller fist and therefore need a smaller portion size versus a person that is larger and has a larger fist. I also encourage you to start off small. So if you don't consume vegetables every day, if you can start with a goal of consuming maybe 1 fist a day and then working your way up to 2 to 3, that's a great place to start. Tip number 8, set a goal to prepare most meals at home. Since this past March, we might have found ourselves more in the kitchen, cooking more often, which is great. So I encourage you to keep doing this. But to keep it exciting, try new recipes. Set a goal of trying a new recipe once a week or once a month and get other family members involved. This will not only help buy-in of a new recipe that you're trying out, but it also will help expand culinary skills in the kitchen. If you're looking for inspiration, check out our website. We have tons of recipes on our website. A lot of them are really easy to make and quick and nutritious. So I recommend checking out our website if you need inspiration for new recipe ideas. Tip number 9, cook with more fresh herbs and spices. This will help increase flavor and boost flavor in dishes without increasing sodium. A lot of times we think of sodium or salt as flavor, but herbs and spices provide an array and a depth of flavor to our dishes. So I encourage you to try different herbs and spices out, such as like ginger and garlic, thyme, nutmeg, cardamom, oregano, basil. These are all excellent herbs and spices to boost flavor. They also are packed with lots of nutrients, such as your fruits and vegetables. So it's another great way to increase or boost your nutrient intake. Tip number 10, choose dark leafy greens over light colored leafy greens most often. So kale, collard greens, spinach, arugula. The darker the leaf, the higher the nutrient content is going to be compared to other leafy lettuce that are lighter in color, like romaine or iceberg lettuce. So I recommend choosing those over the lighter colored lettuce leaves. If you are a fan of romaine and iceberg, maybe a way to start is incorporating half darker leafy greens with the romaine or the iceberg, and then working your way up to consuming most of your leafy lettuce from the darker colored leaves. Tip number 11, shop your pantry before heading to the store. I'm guilty of this as well. Sometimes I just head to the store and don't take a quick look into my pantry, and then when I get home, I have now 2 bags of brown rice or 2 bags of dried beans that I already have in my pantry. So I encourage you to look in your pantry and note what you have before going to the store to prevent overbuying. This will also help inspire meals that it might save you a couple days before going to the grocery store. So check to see if you can already make some meals before you have to head to the store. It's going to save you money. Again, it will help with the overbuying component, and it will push you outside of your comfort zone and expand culinary skills, because some of those things that are left in our pantry sometimes aren't the most favorite items that we enjoy cooking or know how to cook. So if we have that opportunity to get those out, it will help expand our culinary skills and help us try new recipes as well. Tip number 12, incorporate natural occurring probiotic drinks and or foods daily. These items have healthy bacteria, these little microorganisms that really help support gut health and overall health and immunity. Most of our immune system lies in our gut, so we want to support our gut health as much as possible, and this is a great way of doing it. So incorporating kefir, Greek yogurt that has live cultures, plant-based yogurts that have live cultures, miso, tempeh, kimchi, fermented foods such as sauerkraut and pickles. These are all going to contain these natural friendly bacteria that's going to help support our gut health as well as overall health. Tip number 13, save the bones. If you're cooking a chicken or turkey, make sure to save the bones and make your own bone broth at home. Bone broth is packed with tons of nutrients. It has amino acids that help with our gut health, and just as you learned, gut health supports our overall health because most of our immunity lies in our gut. So bone broth is going to help support our gut health and overall health. It will also help you save money. So instead of buying bone broth at the store, you can make it at home. Tip number 14, clean and chopped veggies when you get home from the store. Sometimes this is the last thing that you want to do when you get home from the store, but I promise you, if you do it, you're going to be more apt to eating those vegetables within their peak nutrient time. The longer vegetables or produce in general stay in your refrigerator, the increased loss of nutrients occurs. So oxidation takes effect, and then nutrient declines over time. So I highly recommend consuming vegetables within about 3 to 4 days of purchase, so you can reap the most benefits from their nutrient value. It will also help you reach for something healthy to snack on instead of potato chips. So if you're looking for something crunchy, then you can reach for the broccoli or cauliflower that you cut when you got home from the store versus potato chips. Not saying potato chips are bad, but I do recommend, if you can reach for those vegetables most often, that's going to be the best choice. Tip number 15, save your vegetables and herb scraps. Just like the bones, save vegetable and herb scraps. Put them in an airtight Ziploc container in your refrigerator or freezer, and save it up until you have a bag full, and make a vegetable stock or broth when you have a bag full of vegetable scraps. Save carrots, onion, herbs, fennel, mushroom, leeks. These are all going to be great vegetables and herbs to put into your vegetable stock. I do recommend avoiding vegetables of the cabbage family. Sometimes this can make it stock a little bit better. So focus more on carrots, onion, herbs, fennel, mushrooms, and avoid the cabbage family to prevent making a vegetable stock that's a little bit on the bitter side. Tip number 17, set aside 30 minutes each week to plan meals. This is extremely important because, again, it helps with seeing what you have in your pantry to prevent overbuying. It's going to save money. It's going to save time. This is a great way to get your family involved, get their input on what meals you want to have for the upcoming week. This might help other family members be a little bit more adventurous in trying new foods, new recipes. So sit down, make it a family event. Take just about 30 minutes out of the week, and I promise you this will save lots of time, money, and it's gonna help with buy-in from other family members if you're trying new foods or new recipes. Tip number 18, aim to consume a mainly plant-based diet. I could do a whole presentation on what a plant-based diet is and why it's good for us. But overall, I just want to convey that a plant-based diet does not mean you have to be vegan or vegetarian. So vegan is when you eliminate all animal products, and vegetarian means that you eliminate animal meats. So a plant-based diet doesn't mean you have to completely eliminate meats or animal products, but more so of making sure that most of your diet is made up of plant-based sources, such as non-starchy vegetables, starchy vegetables, nuts, seeds, pulses. And with meat, you can consume a few ounces a day, or you can go every other day. But the main thing with meat is just making sure that you consume about 2 to maybe 4 ounces a day or less. A great way to incorporate this is if you want to incorporate a meatless day. So Meatless Monday, encourage your family to not consume meat for a day or maybe several meals throughout the week. And this is a great starting point. Tip number 19, add fruit, herbs, and or vegetables to water to enhance the flavor without adding sugar. Water can get boring pretty quickly, so incorporating different herbs and vegetables and fruit will help enhance the flavor without adding sugar to it. I placed several different combinations here that I enjoy. Sliced cucumber and mint leaves, minced ginger and lemon slices, sliced kiwi and strawberry, The list can be pretty much endless. So I encourage you to pair up different vegetables and herbs and fruits that you enjoy into your water. And this might bring a little bit more excitement to the water and encourage you to drink more throughout the day. Tip number 20, make your own salad dressing using plant oils, herbs, and spices. With store-bought dressings, pre-made dressings, they can contain saturated fats, thickeners and stabilizers, and added sugars that we want to avoid. So making your own dressing at home can be really simple. So I put a really simple basic vinaigrette guide on the slide. It's a 2-to-1 ratio of oil, vinegar, acid. And oils, you can use olive oil, flaxseed, avocado oil. For vinegars, red, white, balsamic, apple cider. And acids, a lot of citrus fruits lend well to vinegars. And then put different herbs and spices in there that you enjoy. If you have a mason jar, put all the ingredients in the mason jar, shake it up, and put it in your fridge. Tip number 21, and our last and final tip. Breathe and find time to relax. This past year has been challenging, to say the least. So trying to find time to breathe and take time for yourself, pick up a new hobby, or go out and enjoy nature, go for a walk, meditate, do yoga. I really encourage everybody to do that so you can take a mental break as well as a physical break. I also encourage you to find something to smile about each day. If we can do that, then we can get through this together. And I want to wish everybody a happy 2021. So we're going to move on to the recipe demonstration. And like I said, you can find this information on our website as well as a short recipe video under recipe videos. I want to talk about this a little bit before we move on to Q&A. So this recipe is called Mega C Smoothie. The ingredients are a whole orange peeled. I really like using whole oranges in my smoothie versus orange juice. When you use a whole orange, you are getting all the fiber from the orange, which is fantastic. And then also the orange provides a sweeter flavor than orange juice. So it really enhances the flavor of the smoothie. You add also 1 cup of frozen strawberries, another great source of vitamin C, a half a cup of Greek yogurt, vanilla. I do like the vanilla flavor component in the smoothie. It pairs very well. And with Greek yogurt, you're getting a good protein source. And then a tablespoon of lemon juice. Lemons, obviously, great source of vitamin C. A tablespoon of hemp hearts. Hemp hearts are one of the most nutrient-rich seeds. Also, hearts it's used interchangeably out there, and they're a great source of plant-based iron, zinc, manganese, and magnesium. And then a half a teaspoon of camu powder. And I have a little packet here. The camu powder is made from camu berry or camu berry that's grown or found in the Amazon. It looks like a little cranberry, but it's known to be the highest containing vitamin C source out there. And just 1/2 teaspoon, depending on what brand you buy, is going to provide 150 to up to over 300% of your daily value of vitamin C. So we're going to add a half a teaspoon of camu powder to the smoothie. And you add it to your blender, blend it on high for a minute, and you're good to go. Okay, now we're moving on to Q&A. So I'm going to look up some of the questions that our viewers had. Okay, first question. Without the camu powder, what is the vitamin C content in the smoothie? So if we remove the camu powder, the content's going to be about 250% of your daily value of vitamin C. So still a great source of vitamin C. If you want to skip on the camu powder, totally fine. You're going to still be getting a great, excellent source of vitamin C through the smoothie. Question number 2, what are hemp hearts or seeds, and is there a difference? So hemp hearts and seeds, I had this question not too long ago myself, but they're used interchangeably. So you'll see most of the time on packages in the stores, it will be hemp hearts, but hearts or seeds, they are the same thing. And like I mentioned just a little bit ago, they're an excellent source of plant-based iron, zinc, manganese, magnesium, also healthy fats. They're a great source of healthy fats, and it does have protein as well. So it's really great nutrient density that you can add to smoothie, sprinkle on top of cereal, or add to soups and stews to increase the nutrient value in those. It has a nutty flavor, so it's really great to add to a lot of different recipes. Question number 3, what can I substitute for oranges in the smoothie? I would recommend doubling the strawberries. So instead of 1 cup of strawberries, do 2 cups of strawberries. You can also replace the orange with a banana. And banana will provide a smooth, creamy texture for the smoothie. It won't have as much vitamin C as if you doubled the strawberries or if you left the orange in there. So if you're looking for that vitamin C content, then what I would recommend is doubling strawberries first. Question number 4, what new nutritious fruit or vegetables do you recommend adding to my shopping list? So going back to one of the earlier slides of adding a new or rarely consumed fruit or vegetable, so I would recommend adding fennel. Fennel is in season right now. It's excellent cold in a salad, so you can chop off the tops of the fennel and use that in a salad. In the bulb, you can do a sheet pan. You can roast it, toss it with olive oil, lemon juice, put rosemary with it. Fennel also pairs very well with seafood, so I would add fennel to your list. Another one would be parsnips. Again, in season, parsnips are great to add to soups or stews. They are great to puree up if you're making like a creamy based soup and you don't want to add cream to it. Then what I recommend is cooking the parsnips and pureeing them, and they're going to add a creamy sweet flavor to soups. So parsnips would be one. For fruit, pomegranate seeds. Pomegranate seeds are great, excellent sources of antioxidants. If you don't want to hassle with de-seeding a pomegranate, you can find them already seeded in little cups, so that will save a little bit of time, but pomegranates would be one that I would add from a fruit standpoint. Okay, that looks like those are all of our questions. I just want to thank you again for joining me for 21 tips for 2021. I encourage you to visit our website to view this class presentation as well as the recipe demonstration. Also, check out our recipe library for inspiration for your next meal or new recipes that you want to try out. Our website is basicsmarket.com. I also want to pass along our locations, our market locations. So we are located on Sandy Boulevard. We have a location in Hillsdale on Capitol Highway, Lovejoy, the Pearl area, Tualatin, and we also have a meat market on Canyon Road. So I encourage you to go out and visit one of our stores. We also have recipe cards at our location. So if you're wanting to be inspired in our store, we have recipe cards located there. We also feature a nourishing recipe each month, and this month we're featuring relaxing smoothie bowl recipe ideas. So I encourage you to check us out, and you can also go to our website if you're wanting to sign up for more classes, online classes. Our class schedule is located on our website. Great. Thank you and happy 2021.